it's like, and then to go all out with the costume and everything, and then, you know, trying to talk with the slang.
But don't you think, though, that it's not always, I mean, I do think that sometimes they have the wrong intentions or whatever, and sometimes it's really racist or whatever intentionally. However, other times I think it's just ignorance. And other times I think that people honorably really do identify with a culture or race or whatever, and they're just trying to be that for Halloween because they actually do like or care about that culture. It doesn't make it necessarily okay, but I'm just saying that I think there's 3 different situations where people may do blackface or do...
Well, this Nick Kroll guy, I'm pretty sure he...
Well, no, he's a country guy. I'm sure
he can't... Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has 0 black friends.
I know, exactly.
So he can't sit there and tell me that, you know, oh, I'm doing it because I respect the African American. No, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. You're trying to make us look dumb and stupid. That's what you're trying to do.
Speaking of dumb and stupid, you had said something about Yusuf Mack, the boxer, and gay porn. I saw this article.
Oh, yeah. So there's a boxer named Yusuf Mack. Is a boxer. He's just a boxer. I don't know much about him. I actually had never heard of him until recently. Supposedly back in the day, he's from Philadelphia. Back in the day, he did a gay porn. I guess whenever this happened.
That's just coming out. Yeah, it's just coming out.
Yeah, he did a gay porn, and then when somehow it surfaced and, you know, became national news, and then when it came out in the media, he tried to deny and say that wasn't him, and then I guess after all the pressure, he finally broke and was like, okay, it really was me. I was really hard up for money, and, you know, I really did at the time because I really needed money and all that kind of stuff. Now he's coming out saying he's bisexual. I don't buy the whole thing.
Well, originally he said that he was drugged.
Right.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that he was under the impression he was doing a normal porn. He was drugged, took some pill and some vodka, which I don't know about you guys, but I don't take any pills. I don't know. And next thing he knows, he woke up on the train with $4,500 in his wallet and couldn't remember what happened.
And a sore butthole. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I think, well, you know, I mean, you know, Jason, and I've said this before, and I'm sure I don't know if you agree, but you probably do, that he is black, right? He's a black guy, right?
Right.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's him and 2 other black guys.
Yeah.
in the
I saw
movie.
that picture. I couldn't remember, but anyway, but I mean, in the black culture, it's like so taboo to be gay. And so he's a rapper, right? I know he's a boxer. And so, you know, in the boxing community, it's taboo to be gay, really taboo, and in any kind of sport or professional kind. And so he was just covering his ass like a lot of guys do, trying to say, oh, I'm not really gay. Something made me do it or whatever. And now at least he came out and said he's bisexual, which is a step in the right direction. He's probably gay, but I mean,
that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, he's probably gay. I don't think he's bisexual. I think he's doing it to kind of soften the blow, as I call it.
But also that makes it, for him, that's what I'm saying, for him and his family, his friends, whatever, it makes it, like you just said, it softens the blow, makes it a little more palpable for them to accept him being bisexual. And then later on he can say, no, really, I'm gay, you know, someday.
Yeah, from the news articles I saw and the screen caps, he looked pretty comfortable.
Yeah, he did.
Right, exactly. He looked pretty fucking comfortable to me, or either they gave you one hell of a pill. So this whole thing about him saying that he wasn't aware that was going on, I don't buy it.
I don't buy it either.
Now let's talk about the student that was dragged out of her chair and thrown across the room. That was horrible. Now,
and if you have not heard of this story, you had to be living under a rock for the past week. There is a student who attended Spring Valley High School in Columbia, South Carolina. I guess another student nearby recorded something on their cell phone, or recorded the video on their cell phone. Supposedly the girl, I don't think they released the girl's name, I don't believe. But the girl was in class, she was on her phone. The teacher told her to put her phone away, and she didn't. So they brought in like this school officer, I'm assuming is what he is at the time. And when they brought the school officer in, it seemed like in the video he asked her to do something, or stand up, or do something like that, or give her the cell phone or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she didn't. Now, it wasn't like she was fighting him. She was just sitting in her seat, and she was like, no, I'm not doing it. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, out the blue,
0 to 100.
It was real quick, okay? Mm-hmm. It was like he picks her up, and, like, tosses the desk over, yanks her at the desk flips over, and all kinds of stuff. And I'm just like,
he body slammed her essentially across the room.
Exactly. She had rug burns on her forehead.
Yes. I mean, and it's hard to explain how violent it looked unless you see the video, but it was abhorrent what he did. And but did you really read also, or I read something or saw it on The View or something, where they said that she was having a lot of problems at home, blah blah blah. Now,
yeah, her grandmother had recently passed away.
Yeah,
she was
like an orphan, exactly. And so she was having issues. I'm not saying it's an excuse for her to act out, but I do think that there's no excuse for this man to treat anyone, especially a kid, the way he did. He could have literally killed her.
All over a cell phone. I'm like, you body slam this girl, grab her by her neck,
right?
Body slam her, and everything over a cell phone. It's like, the sad thing about this whole situation is that if you watch the video, so this is the first thing that I noticed. It seems like the students really didn't jump up and do anything, which indicates that this officer has probably done this before.
Or they're scared shitless of him.
Or they're scared of him or something, because I think I heard someone in the background say, "Oh my God," and that was it. But none of the students moved. And here's my other thing. And it's also a big embarrassment because they did this in front of her teacher, in front of other classmates. And I'm thinking to myself, how come you didn't tell everybody to go out in the hallway and then have them be between the teacher, the student, and the
I don't think that they knew that it was going to be escalated, that he was going to escalate it from "give me your phone" to throwing her across the room. I don't think they knew that was going to happen. So they probably just thought he was going to go in there and she was going to listen to him. And finally, because apparently she'd been told 2 or 3 times by previous people, by both a teacher and then by an official like a principal or something at the school. And then they pulled in the security guard and did this. And so I don't think they couldn't have known that this was going to happen. So that's why they didn't empty the room or whatever. But what I was trying to say is earlier is like, I'm sure maybe you guys remember when you were in high school. I certainly do. Of course, I'm still this way today, but I have some days I just don't give a shit, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck what you say. I've never been a very big fan of authority anyway. But when I was in high school, there were days like that I just didn't give a fuck. And somebody could say something to me or whatever. It was just a wrong day. So I'm saying maybe this girl's grandma's died or whatever happened to her, and she's sad, she's depressed, and she's like, I'm gonna don't give a fuck mood, and she's like, I'm not doing the fuck thing you say to me, and so she just defies the guy, and that's okay that she's in a bad mood, but she still should have done what she said. But
exactly.
Was that a reason for him to do this? No, that was excessive force.
And there are people who support this police officer.
Of course they do. Part of it's because wasn't she black?
Yeah, and then someone had the nerve to put on hashtag Criminal Lives Matter. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how is she a criminal for sitting in your seat?
She's a fucking kid. Exactly.
Somebody put on the very first comment, I swear to God, said hashtag obviously hashtag Criminal Lives Matter.
Is it a crime not to give up your cell phone in school? I'm sorry. I don't think so.
Well, if you're not listening to the police, then
fuck the police.
But okay, this is my thing, because I had cell phones in high school.
Because you're young.
And what'd you say?
Because you're so young.
Right. I had a sidekick, and I was obsessed with it. I had internet on there. I had MySpace. I had YouTube. It was a problem. So I went through the same thing this girl went through as far as like not wanting to give up my cell phone. And I used to be on that sucker. My mom used to travel a lot for work. And at my school, when I was growing up, if you got caught on your phone, they'd take your phone, they would rip it out of your hands, and then your parent would have to come pick it up after school.
Yeah.
That's the only way you get your phone. Well, my mom traveled a lot, so she was not in town this week to come get my phone. I needed my phone in order to get rides to get to and from school. So this teacher had taken my phone, and I was like, after class, I said, listen, I understand, like, I apologize, but my mom's out of town, like, I'm staying, like, I'm just by myself, like, there's nobody that can come get my phone.
Yeah.
And she said, sounds like a personal problem to me.
Sounds like a bitch, yeah.
Yeah, she was a bitch. She didn't teach me anything. She was a bird photographer, so it was a math class, and she had photography of birds all over her class. Anyways, I ended up getting my phone back from the principal. because gay privileges. But they were when I was growing up. No, I'm serious. In the small town I grew up in, I got away with so much shit, and I think it's because they were scared of like this kind of thing, of like somebody saying the wrong thing to me, doing the wrong thing to me. And my brother had gone to school there earlier the 2 years prior, and he was like star of the football team, like real big macho guy, so everybody knew him, you know what I mean? So it was a little bit more respected as far as like the teachers go. So I ended up getting my phone back, but I do think that when there should still be some sort of like, if someone you have to give your phone up, and maybe at the end of class or at the end of school you go pick it up. But I don't think that they should just let them have their phones in school. Like that should be detention. Or,
well, I think the rule is, Christian,
in school suspension.
So far as I know, but from what I've seen, like my niece, she was in high school and I've known her and everything, and she their high school, as I recall, what they would do with phones there is that you could have your phone on you just like this girl did in this situation, but you couldn't use it in class. You couldn't take it out or whatever. You had to keep it in your pocket or your bag or whatever. And so I think that's a fair thing to say. I mean, if you're in class, you shouldn't have your phone out anyway. You should be paying attention to the teacher. But between classes, they were allowed to use their phones. So don't you think that's a fair policy, right?
Yeah, that's fair. If I remember correctly, that's how it was. Where you then. Were. And okay. we had some teachers that were like, if be on your phones, whatever, just if anyone walks in, just tuck them away. But there were some teachers that were stricter than others.
Well, right. I personally, this is one reason that I've always had, ever since I was really young, I remember people who were in authority fucking me over one way or the other, and I always depended on them, I believed in them, and I looked up to them as authority figures, whether it was a teacher or a cop or whatever, when I was young, and almost always, somehow they betrayed my trust in them. And so that's one reason I have such a horrible anti-authority bent to me, is that I really just don't trust cops or people in authority, because most of the time, they're just people. They're just people, and they have their own opinions and their own beliefs and everything. So this is one reason when something like this happens, with a cop, you're supposed to be able to trust to protect and serve or whatever, right? That bullshit. Because I think he was an actual cop. I don't think he was just a...
he was. He
wasn't just like a security guard. Protect and serve. This is not what his job is to do this to this girl. That's not protecting and serving. And so I find this to be just another example of another cop going fucking ballistic. Like, the good thing is she didn't get fucking shot or killed. That's the good thing.
Yes, thank God to that.
If he pulled out a fucking gun, that'd be a different story.
Yeah, really quickly, I do think it is important to say that this particular police officer was known around the school for under the nickname the Hulk, and was known for being very aggressive.
Yes.
And actually was sued a few years ago by a couple for I can't think of the technical
assault
word. Basically, yeah, and he actually won, but. If this person's known for it, why are you working in his school?
Exactly. Yep.
But what was their intention in bringing the police officer in?
To get her to give up their phone.
But what's he going to do?
Get the phone.
Clearly, what's he going to do? But if he can't slam her across the room, like what is it? He's going to give her a fucking take it. I don't. I don't.
I think that
we didn't have police officers when I was in school, so
me either. Not until the year after I left. I think that was actually the last resort they had. No, of course they did not intend for that to happen. It just did because he was an idiot and an asshole. But whatever. That it's a horrible story. Anyway.
But teachers will try to push. We're not going to stay on this topic too long, but I remember I was in high school and there was a teacher. I was just in a bad mood one day, and my math teacher just kept fucking with me.
Yes.
And she just she was explaining something I didn't understand, and she just kept. Now there's plenty of people in the room. She just constantly called my name over, and it's like, Jason, what is the answer to this? And I didn't say anything, and then she would just keep calling, and then finally, after the sixth time of calling my name, I was like, bitch, I don't fucking know.
Oh shit!
And then I got suspended from school.
Oh, you got suspended?
Because I did. I said it to her as loud as I could in the fucking classroom, and I was relatively a good student. I was honor roll and everything. But that day, I was just like,
that's
bitch,
what I was talking about.
Don't fucking know.
That's the thing, and a lot of people, teachers especially, will act as if kids are not human, like they don't have any kind of feelings or anything, and just treat you like some piece of dirt or something, and then they expect you not to respond. And of course, you should respect your elders and not bullshit the teachers and stuff. But you can only be pushed so far. Everybody has a limit. That was the only time I've been
suspended ever from school in 12 years.
I never got suspended, but I sure
me either. I was a perfect student.
You were an angel, right?
They thought I was always an angel in high school. I mean, that's what they thought. But when I got home, it was a different story. But anyway, out of school. So Rihanna, record label.
So this is for the listener.